The vast majority of Sri Lankans practice Theravedic Buddhism, the oldest form of Buddhism in the world, which isn't too surprising, considering that legend has it Buddha visited Sri Lanka on at least 3 occasions, and temples in his name are spread out all over the island, much like the Dambulla cave temple that we're visiting today. Legend also has it that Buddha believed he had incarnated as an elephant 7 times, and that when his mother was pregnant with him, she saw a white elephant. So the tie-in between Buddhism and elephants is very tight. In fact, it's against Sri Lankan law to euthanize an elephant.
With nearly 4,000 elephants left on the island nation of Sri Lanka, the species is in trouble and Yala National Park may hold the key to their survival in the wild. Near Yala, marauding bull elephants are now viewed as more than just an unpredictable nuisance by farmers and villagers.
But we have a special language called elephant language. Like if you are requesting loudly from them, they never disturb in you. If what's it single called you alirale, but I mata karadana karana, they never disturb in you.
This is the story about a new intolerance falling upon the elephants of Sri Lanka. Affected by the northeast monsoons, Yala's wet season generally begins in November and ends by March. This is the growing season for farmers and creates good habitat in Yala for elephants. After the wet season, farmers will finish their harvest and many will return to their villages, leaving their fields behind. Elephants migrate to the unattended fields. These fields support about 1,500 families, some of which practice China or shifting cultivation. According to the Center for Conservation and Research, only a decade ago it was common to see herds of 80 to 100 elephants in the China lands.
They had their own practice, keep following the China lands. Those lands are not there anymore. And you have cultivated paddy lands and all nice and green, and you have a reservoir or the river or the tank, what you call it. And down there you have a nice green field, paddy field. And then next to the catchment you have the elephant lands. So they come for the evening, they come for the water, and they come to the bund, and you see like a supermarket, and then they come to the field.
On the island nation of Sri Lanka, there are up to 24,000 reservoir tanks, many of them dating over 2,000 years old. But of those, about 10,000 of them have either dried up or fallen into disrepair, which forces the elephants to compete for ever-dwindling water resources and increases the potential for conflict.
The biggest problem, the people, they're disturbing their life. Right? They don't have enough lands, they don't have enough food, we don't have system to take care of the elephants. These are present problems. Right? If they have enough food, if they have enough care system, we don't have much problem here from the elephants.
In 2000, due to public pressure, the Department of Wildlife Conservation constructed an electric fence between Yala and the cultivated fields, while chasing the elephants out to alleviate conflict with the villagers and farmers.
සියලුම අලිවැටම අක්‍රිය වෙනවා කරන්ට් එක ඕෆ් වෙනවා මේ වුණාට පස්සේ ඉතින් මම එතනදී විශේෂයෙන් යෝජනා කරන්නේ අපිට අධ්‍යක්ෂින් තියෙන නිසා මේ ගේට්ටු වලට අනිවාර්යෙන් මුරකාරු යොදවන්න ඕනේ මීට වැඩිය සාර්ථකව ක්‍රමයක් හැටියට මම සැලකනවා.
However, after an elephant was found dead due to entanglement with the fence, it was removed and the elephants returned to their historic range on both sides of the fence. Tragically, in 2 separate incidents in 2004, 2 people in the China area died from encounters with elephants. They blamed those deaths on the DWC.
several counter flashes. They flash and there were gunshots and they using shouting and elephant very fear with the people. That's why elephant always when see the people try to attack.
Immediately, right away.
Yeah, because they are changed their attitude and because of the fear they always attack.
So when some farmers go with a flashlight, turn on a flashlight, the elephant will immediately attack them because they know some of the bulls will do that, right?
Yeah.
After the second person was killed, a protest and march on 2 wildlife offices resulted in assaults upon DWC officials. While defending themselves, one of the protesters was shot and killed, and others were injured. Many villagers and farmers in Sri Lanka believe that the wild elephants belong to the DWC and think it's their duty to protect people from their elephants.
And in Buddhist philosophy, that sacred, that all life is sacred. You know, you can't just go and euthanize a bull elephant. But really, it's almost a more humane way because the elephants are eventually relocated. The majority of them die one horrible death or another, and the marauding behavior causes villager deaths and farmer deaths. So you can't euthanize. This is against the Constitution here and their spirituality.
ඒ වල්වලින් ගෙවල් වල මිනිස්සු වගා කරලා තියෙන හේන් වලට වතු වලට පැනලා තමයි ආහාරය ආදිය ලබා ගන්න උත්සාහ කරන්නේ.
There was severe tension with the villagers until the DWC agreed to reinstall the fences. The very next dry season, in 2005, the elephants began to starve and the herds were decimated. The Center for Conservation and Research reports that the irony is that the fence was built to stop elephants from raiding crops, but the ones who suffered the most from the fence were the herds, which hardly ever raided. The herds, which are not aggressive and have little to do with the overall conflict, are starving during the dry season, while trapped behind the fence. Many bulls, who are responsible for raiding, remain outside the fence. These bulls will simply knock the fence down and walk through in the night, raiding cultivations and villages, and then knock it down again to re-enter Yala in the morning.
මේ ප්‍රදේශයේ තියෙන වනාන්තරය ඇතුළේ තියෙන වැව් එකක්වත් ප්‍රතිසංස්කරණය වෙලා නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ වැව් නඩත්තුවක් නැති නිසා වතුර රඳා පවතින්නේ නැහැ. දැන් මේ පළාතේ මේ කැලේ ආශ්‍රිත බැලුවොත් එහෙම අපේ වැව් විතරයි ටිකක් හරි වතුර තියෙන්නේ. ඒක මේ ඒකෙන් තමයි මේ දිනවල.
During the dry season of 2014, the DWC began filling artificial ponds within Yala Park, which were dug by conscientious locals. Food is being hauled in to feed the starving and emaciated elephants. While this is not a long-term solution, it is bridging the gap to what will hopefully be a bright future for the elephants of Yala. Seasonal fencing around chinas is proving successful where it's being tested in northern Sri Lanka, and use of biofencing is also being studied. Perhaps the new president will offer more resources to the problem by funding temporary fences for farmers and villagers, more radio collars to study movement, and reimbursement for any damages.
අලින්ගේ පහරදීමට ලක්වන සමහර අය දිහා බලපුවාම එක පැත්තකින් ඒ කට්ටිය අලියා පිළිබඳව අලියකින් වන හානිය පිළිබඳව ඒ අවධානම අරගෙන නැහැ. විශේෂයෙන් යම් සිදුවීම් අරගෙන බලපුවාම අපේ ධර්මයන් එහෙම සිහිපත් කරලා බලනකොට සංසාරගත పూర్වයේ කරන ලද යම්කිසි අකුසල කර්ම නිසා ඒදී පහර දීම් වලට ලක් වෙන්නත් ඇති. මොකද ඒ විදිහට තමයි අපේ බුද්ධ ධර්මයේ අනුව සිහිපත් කරලා බලනකොට බුදුබණේ විශේෂයෙන් තියෙනවා කර්මයේ පිළිබඳව ඒ කර්මය ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ යදිදං හීනප්පනීසාය කියලා උස් පහත් ભેදයකින් මේ කර්ම ශක්තිය පෙර භවයන් වල ආපු කර්ම ශක්තිය හේතු
Ah